I just wanted to make a PvP, a solo PvP video because there's really not a lot out there, and I've done a lot of trial and error trying to figure it out. So I figured maybe I help you guys get started. Maybe we'll see some more fights. So this is just a real basic fighter, kind of made off the principle of cross-section. You see it's got a really small frontal cross-section, so the idea is if you're pointed at the enemy, maybe he'll miss you. You put a couple extra voxels in the front to soak up some damage. Basically cannons, adjusters, and all space engines. I set up on a moon so I can take off without atmospheric engines and try to find a fight. Just wanted to talk about how to set up the ship. I like to not have any entrances because you want to have a lot of thick voxels around you to protect you. So you can see there's not a lot of room in here. A lot of the stuff is inside. Put the radar inside, protect it from getting blown up. That's how you fuel from the inside. Let's see, where did I link to that? And I'm going to show you how to set the weapons up. So it kind of takes a little bit. First off, you need some skills. Important skill right here, seat capacity under weapons. Control seat capacity. You're going to need, if you want 4 cannons or missiles or whatever, the higher your skill, the more you can fit on there, and I'll show you how the calibration works. So level 4 in seat capacity. Want to get cannon capacity. We're just using extra smalls. That's the only ones you can use in solo PvP. Also have that to 4. And then radar, not under gunnery capacity, small radar capacity is important too. And we're just going to cut away the top section of this ship here for a second and show you how that how to connect your guns. Okay. So we got our seat, and I'm just going to take the seat out to show you from start. Take the seat out. Sometimes you have to remove the dynamic properties to get it to go back in. Turn it around. It's actually facing backwards, but we don't care because we're going to fly this ship only in third person. Alright, now setting up your guns, you've got 6. You see how it says PvP capacity 0 of 1200. So each gun and radar suck up some of your PvP capacity. So if we take the radar first, we're going to hook it to the chair. That's the other way around. Take the chair, you hook the chair to everything. So now the chair has 400 points used. And those skills that I showed you is how you will increase the amount of points. And they also decrease the cost of an item, a weapon, to be hooked. Cannons have the least amount of calibration, so I can fit 4 on here. I haven't tried it with missiles yet, but I'm sure 3 is the most you'll be able to do. So those are all hooked up. You can kind of see they're going out. It's really important to name your elements, like this cannon. It's named top mount, because when we go to do the shooting tests, we're going to want to know that's the left cannon, which one is not firing. It's very important. You know, sometimes you can sync your elements like these adjusters. You can sync them into the voxels for protection, but if you do that with weapons, then they just jam or they won't fire. So you really have had to take away a lot of the voxels. You don't want them touching any of the, even the sides here, or if anything is brushing up against the back, the gun won't shoot. So let's take it out and test it out. We'll put our ship back together. sure that it's all lined up. Good. And I sunk this brake. The brakes work. You can totally sink them in boxes. They'll still work fine. You're going to want a lot of thrust, so I've got 1 medium space engine, 4 small space engines on this. You're also going to need an ammo crate that is hooked to all the cannons. You can do that after you set up. My ammo crate is right here. You can see it's full of just extra small kinetic rounds, and each cannon is linked to this crate. This is just for extra scrap and fuel if you need it. You're probably going to die in this ship. So got to reset all your Lua parameters because we had the chair out, but it's really important to do that after you hook the guns up, because if you hook a couple guns up or change it around and you don't readjust your script, it won't recognize them, so you take off and you'll only see 2 guns or 1 gun. That's not what I wanted to do. I like to use keyboard. Caps lock is on. I don't think it matters. Okay, before we take off, one more thing to talk about is we want to make a test dummy to shoot at, test our guns in space. I've got it here. Call it target, whatever you want. So this thing is just something that we can deploy. Boom, it's just some voxels around a dynamic core. And we're going to go out into space and just deploy that. So make sure you have that built and it's compactified in your inventory. Alright, this is important too. When you're sitting here before we go to third person, one time you want to tab out, you get that crazy tab bug, you want to open your chat windows up, you want to go to combat. And I have it set up so combat will always be there. Here we can load, unload the weapons if we want to. Radar's jammed, we can't see it. It's the only way to load and unload was tab. So to reduce that frames per minute bug that you get from using this Lua script that I'm running, we're going to try to tab the least amount that we have to. Then we're going to go outside. I always like to use double X's because you need to know where you're moving, what your thrust vector is. And it's really important, like you put a lot of extra adjusters, you just want to be real maneuverable so you can stop. You want to have a lot of extra brake if you're trying to catch up to somebody. And we're just going to go fly out into space here. This is an interesting bug too, is that you can see that you cannot go above 500 kilometers while you're below quote-unquote sea level. On these moons they're kind of misshapen, so you can get below sea level, and you'll see as we go above sea level our speed's going to start going up. This is pretty thirsty on the gas, but you want to be fast, and this ship is really cheap. It's like basic engines, it's basic everything. It's not military grade engines. You can get a little bit faster going that way because you want to be able to speed up and slow down to get to targets as quick as you can. Some other skills while we're flying that are good for PvP obviously are all the ammo skills are great. You can just go hit extra small and it'll apply for everything. Extra small missile, extra small laser. So if you get some of your extra small skills up, and you see I haven't spent a lot of time, I could do some more. Throw that one in there. And then you also have your gunnery skills, which are applied to the weapons. So extra small missiles here. Cannons, because we have cannons, so give you range, they give you damage, they give you more angle of attack, faster tracking, faster reload speed. There's also magazine capacity, so you can fit more. Missiles is important because you can really only fit 5 missiles at the beginning, so you only get 5 shots before you can reload. Cannon, I got that up, and I think that only gave me another 3 because I think you start with 30 rounds in the extra small cannons, and I can fit 33 in there now. So Here we are charging out into nowhere. Maybe we'll actually find a fight. I don't know. Probably not. It's been really rare to see anything. I've killed 4 people, but I don't even think they were there. I think in some of these moons, ships might crash into each other, so you just have half their wrecks floating in space. It might have been somebody was outside the ship, salvaging another ship when I blew it up, but I have never been shot at yet, which I think would be exciting. So if people want to start making little fighters, we can meet at the moons. Throwdown. I got a base on Ion. Right now we're at Sinan here because I was thinking maybe you'd get traffic in between these 2 planets. So Sinan has a moon you can take off real easy from. Ion has a good moon. All the 4 kills I've gotten were in between Ion and Alioth, so a little bit hotter. See, we're coming up on the safe zone up in the upper right. Now we can engage. Radar showing no context. We're super sad about that. Gonna engage the brakes. We like to see our little thrust vectors. So I'm just gonna stop the ship. We're gonna launch the target. We're gonna test our guns. You can even see, like, we could have more brakes. I got brakes on every surface, but we could slow down a little bit faster. I think you want to have at least double a brake thrust than your thrust. So you can see my max thrust in space is like 1100, and my max brake is 2400. So I have more than double. But we want to be able to slow down and speed up really quick when we're trying to catch other ships or keep our short-range guns, because these cannons only can shoot about 10K. Missiles you can get up to about 15, so you have to really get close to somebody to blow them up. Okay, the ship is stopped. So you can get out of your ship in space, just don't get too crazy. Gonna get on my little pad, go up, and then we're just gonna take our test dummy out, deploy it, bink, 7 tool, come here, and then you can just throw it away. And then it's going to start flying out there. We'll go pick it up too, but oops. Here we go. So once again, going to have to tab, combat, X. We got all our weapons up. We got the test dummy on radar here. So we're going to come down. We're going to go into third person. Double X again. Brake. So... and we want to hit V. So when you hit V, you can see anything on the radar in space. So then you're looking around, and then I can see ships or dynamic or space stations or anything like that. We can also identify, so we don't have to tab, which is very good. We're trying not to tab. You right click, you can identify the ship, and I can also engage it without tabbing, but that's going to make every gun fire, and I don't want to blow this thing to hell too bad. So we're going to engage each cannon one by one, making sure that they work. So you want to roughly aim, and it's kind of neat. You can see that, well, once we pick the target, you can see that the cannons are going to track that target. And if they can't aim at it, they're going to stop firing. And a lot of times they'll miss, and the only way we know if they hit or miss is with our combat tab on the left. So here we go. We're going to shoot the first one, which is the right gun. Start firing. It's firing. It hit. We're going to stop it. So it's hit, working good. Bottom gun, start firing. Also hitting. Oh, this is great. Start firing. It took me so long to get those guns in the right place. See, it missed that time, but sometimes they miss. So there was a lot of time. So this one's missing. We're going to go back to fly with that gun firing. It's the left one. So we're going to kind of play like if we swing to the right of the ship, you notice it stops firing because I lost trajectory on the target. When I swing it back in, it'll start firing again. So a lot of times what I had to do in the beginning is I only had one gun. Only the top gun was firing. My boxes were all messed up. I had to come out here. You can hit B. And then I just was moving these around, editing. That's why these kind of voxels in here look a little funny, because I was just cutting voxels in and out, trying to get all the guns to fire. Got a lot of, this is all solid copper right here in between the front of the ship and the pilot. Lots of copper around the engines. Hopefully stay in the fight long enough to have fun. I guess we don't really care if we die, right? Those are the Eve rules. So let's go grab our test dummy. See how bad we beat him up, poor guy. You got to get within about 30 meters, 30 or 40 meters to pick this guy up. And if you bump him, he'll go flying out in the middle of nowhere, so you have to kind of be careful not to run into him. Come on, baby. All right, let's try 50. 49. No, no way. Nope. I say if you bump him, he goes like super far away. It's totally annoying. Okay, 28. We should be able to get him now. And you can see the damage. I compactified it, but you can see the damage. We blew up those voxels. You got to repair that with new voxels. On your ship, you can repair your ship damage with scrap. You can repair it with voxels. If you're outside, you can get killed by cannons or missiles. So if you're standing up there, you're in a fight, you're probably just going to die, and you'll res it back, whatever your res node. There's no res node on this ship. It's too small, right? One fight. Hopefully you don't die. Hopefully you have fun. That's the point of it. So questions, comments, let's get it started. This will be my first video up, but I'm not really into making videos. I just wanted to talk about the things that I knew. One other point is the rounds inside your weapons you want to unload if you're going to remove the weapon, because they'll just disappear, and they're pretty expensive. So make sure that you unload weapons before you remove them from the ship. All right, I'll see you in space.